Hello everyone, welcome to the April 2022 version of Onward Lebanon. Onward Lebanon is a television show airing monthly on the Lebanon Channel 6 station. It's designed to provide viewers with an insight into Lebanon City Schools, our staff, our students, and our program. I'm Isaac Severs, the superintendent of Lebanon City Schools. I'm excited to join you this week and every month as we highlight our programs and the amazing people that make this a great place to work and learn. This year, we continue to ask our staff to focus on what unites us. There's so much division in the world, there's so much conflict, but what truly brings us together at Lebanon City Schools? Beyond the traditions, beyond the programs, the maroon and gold, what truly brings us together? And we've chosen to focus this year in this programming around our mission of building community. Our mission of building community internally amongst our staff and our students, and externally with our stakeholders in the community. We strive to foster relationships in our classrooms and programs, and today I'm excited to be joined by our music department and representatives from our staff members in our K-12 music program to highlight one of these excellent programs that we think embodies and exemplifies building community. I'm excited to be joined this morning by Will Kuhn, our music department chair. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thanks for having us on.
It's good to have you here today. Just start for a moment and share a little bit about yourself. How long have you been at Lebanon City Schools? What programs do you lead? What's your role within the department?
Sure. I've been at Lebanon since 2004. I'm the district music coordinator, which is, I guess you could compare it a little bit to like the district athletic director as far as making sure all of our programs work from first grade level when we start all the way till the high school seniors and all of the extracurricular programs we run. The music classes that I'm in charge of are the music technology classes at the high school. So we have a pretty vibrant music technology program that makes us kind of unique. And I've been doing that since about 2006. So we happy to talk more about our programs today.
I'm looking forward to talking about it. It's one of those things as I move to this community and I recognize it's something our community values. There's a lot of pride in our music program. And one of the things I want to highlight on and talk about today is for the 9th year in a row, I think 9 years in a row, Best Community for Music Education by the NAM Foundation.
That's right.
Talk to me about that award and why do you think Lebanon City Schools stands out in terms of our music education programming?
This is our 10th time getting the award, but it's our 9th straight year. We had a gap there at one point. And the NAM Foundation is, NAM is NAMM's, the National Association of Music Merchants. They're kind of, I guess you could consider them like the backbone of the music industry. They supply all of the equipment and tools and services that are used by all kinds of musicians. Everybody from like your top 40 pop artists to people like us, music teachers. And so the NAM Foundation within NAM is like a philanthropic nonprofit that supports music programs. So there's a number of different designations they have. Best Communities is given to districts at the district level when they look at a lot of data points. There's this like 100-page thing that you fill out every year that has all of these questions that classes you offer at each level, how many students are involved, how many minutes of time in music classes, what kinds of performance opportunities there are both inside and outside of school in the community, things like the percentage of your reach of like elective classes and things like that. And so they don't tell you exactly why you get the award, they just give it to you, but some things that I feel like stand out well when I'm filling that out every year is we have a very comprehensive music program, just about every type of outlet, music, performing arts type thing, whether it's drama, whether it's all the different choirs and bands and orchestras that we offer, but also the percentage of students that we're reaching at our secondary level is actually really unique nationally. So the average high school in America, about 20% of the student bodies involved in a music class of some kind. At LHS, we range between 50 and 60% every year. So, in a 4-year period, we have the ability to hit about every student, which a lot of music programs don't have. So it's kind of nice to be recognized for some of these efforts.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, do you think about over 50% of our students participating in music education in some way? There's tremendous research around the effects on students' ability to learn and their achievement levels and involvement with music programs. Big proponent of music education, and I'm blessed to be in a district where we have such a strong program already. You talked a little bit earlier about the music tech program, I think is what you called it. So that's unique. That's a pretty unique experience that our kids have the opportunity to participate in as well. And one of the things that you've been recognized for nationally, I think I've seen you in a magazine or something at one point in time, a video maybe it was.
Couple of things.
So a couple magazines or videos. Talk to us a little bit about the music tech program and some highlights from that program this year.
Yeah, the music tech program, we have 2 classes during the day, Music Tech 1 and 2, where rather than perform in a concert kind of environment, students of all ability levels can learn how to produce music. And because of technology tools that have really only existed in the last 20 years, we're able to do that with students who may not have done any music classes. So we have a nice mix of, experienced musicians can sit alongside people who haven't had a music class since, say, like 6th grade, as early as they could start choosing not to do it, and they're back in music classes, able to make beats, able to learn DJing, able to learn recording, practical skills that are very transferable to other industries. So a lot of students that go through that program will end up doing electronic media or broadcasting, or even just making their own music and I'm going to be a DJ in LA or something.
Yeah.
Some things that are really that I've been kind of working on lately is we have, kind of loops back around, we have a performing group of that. It's called the Electronic Music Group. And this is kind of a subset of the most, dedicated kids that are high level at that. We're doing an event with the Contemporary Arts Center downtown later this May. Called Art Prom. We've done it a couple times before with them, but it's kind of exciting. We're bringing this back with them, and it's a totally student-run event, very fancy because it's at the Fancy Art Museum, and we have the kids running all the music for that. So it's kind of cool to be invited to do things like that regionally and have some gigs that are very unique compared to most concert gigs that you have as a high schooler.
Yeah, it's amazing to walk into those programs and to see the resources that are available to our kids, and understand a lot of that's come through support from outside groups,
yes,
but also an ongoing commitment from the district to make sure we have a program that has a wide reach.
Yeah, we were actually the world's first Ableton Push Initiative Lab. Ableton's a company in Germany that does the software and hardware we use in the class, and when they were about to launch that program, I was lucky enough to be invited into that first test group. So a year before anyone else got those labs, we had this, these controllers that looked like a space station in there, and it's just really cool to be kind of on the bleeding edge of things.
Yeah.
In Lebanon, Ohio, of all places.
Of all places. Probably one of those reasons why we continue to be recognized as a great community for music education. Last question for you here. You're the coordinator. You're overseeing this from kindergarten through 12th grade in a 30,000-foot view of maybe our music program here. What ways do you see Lebanon Schools music program engaging and involving themselves in this mission of building community?
Yeah, the community is growing, and that's the thing that I've noticed over the years of doing the coordinating job is that when I first started in Lebanon, it very much felt like a small town school. The programs felt like they were operating at that scale. And as the community has grown and as the demand for different performing outlets for children kind of grow, we're able to add opportunities, and we've had the support from our administration to keep adding opportunities. And we're in a position where we're able to be very responsive to, if the community say really wants us to host a contest or really wants us to participate in some new circuit, we have the resources and ability to do that. And so our department has been able to like grow to the level of, like what you'd see in larger school districts as the community grows. So it's really fun to be like able to be responsive and kind of have that conversation with all of our stakeholders in the community to like provide them what they want. We have a really experienced music staff that is able to interpret that and like execute that really well.
Yeah, and I'm excited. We're gonna take a break from the show here in a few minutes, but we're gonna come back after this and look at some of those experienced music staff, talk about maybe how their programs fit into the whole. But I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you for your leadership of our program. As a new resident in Lebanon and a new member of the staff in Lebanon City Schools, am excited about the program and the department that you're leading and what it means to our district. So thanks very much for joining me today, and we'll be right back after these commercial breaks to talk to several more staff members from Lebanon City Schools.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Be part of the solution. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups. Find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Hey, welcome back. I'm excited to welcome onto the show two more staff members from our music department, Michelle Crockett and Janice Rydalch. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
I want to start with you, Michelle. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been at Lebanon City Schools, and what do you do within the music department?
Sure. So this is my 7th year within the school system, and I'm at Donovan. So I teach 3rd and 4th grade music, and then I get to go up to the high school and help out a little bit with the marching band throughout the year. So. Yeah.
Awesome. I have a 4th grade son,
Yes,
and so he talks a lot about the music classes there, and had the opportunity to see that firsthand this year. And so, thank you for the work you're doing with the young kids down there at Donovan. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Janice, how about you?
Well, I've been with the orchestra program since 2004. We started it in that year, and I teach orchestra and general music. I teach at Barry as well, but mostly I focus on the orchestra program.
Awesome. And same thing for you. I've got a kid in that building, and as somebody who values music education and understands the benefit it has on students academically as a whole. Really excited for the services, the programs that you're offering in your buildings, and love the fact that at Lebanon we have such a strong music program and what it means to all of our kids. And so I just want to take some moments today, talk a little bit about your programs, and get to highlight things that we maybe don't always highlight, because a lot of times the high school programs get the attention, right? They're marching at a football field on Friday night, or they're doing a concert or a show. And so I want to start with you, Michelle, and just what are you doing? What are you doing at Donovan to establish this music foundation, and how do you view your role as an elementary music teacher in the music program?
You know, I take my role very serious. I realize that I see every student that goes through our school system. I have over 800 kids, and I know that. And so I try to make my classroom a fun and safe environment for our students, and we're introducing different parts of music within my class. We're singing, we're dancing, we're playing instruments, and as the kids are doing this, and I tell them we're going to try it all, you're going to be figuring out what do you really like doing, and maybe what do you just want to watch others do, and be that audience member, because as they get older, they're going to have choices to make on which path they want to go. So I definitely see my role as introducing all types of musical things to help them make some decisions.
Yeah, and so I think in just terms of the bigger picture, what's you're exposing them to things in third and fourth grades, to music and to in general. And how do you think music maybe fits in with like what they're doing, right? How much of their day is music? Maybe give us a sense of that, but also what value you think that's adding to these kids in terms of elementary programming.
We see our students once a week for about 40 minutes, and there's a lot of research that's out there about how music education improves that cognitive function going on their academic skills. We are really providing a lot of fine motor development with instrument playing, reading skills. I mean, they have to read music, so they're reading that. So yeah, we're providing all that within their day to really supplement what other teachers are doing. If I found out a teacher is working on fractions, I can make that into my music lesson as well, and you'll hear kids say, "Oh, that's like a fraction." I'm like, exactly. So it's fun to talk with teachers and show how we're all working together.
I think that interdisciplinary, connection, and also, I think it's important. As a kid who grew up loving music, I loved going to music class, right? Mm-hmm. And it gave me something other than, the math or the language arts that day to look forward to. Sometimes in my house, they look forward to PE more than music, all right, or recess or lunch, right? But but also they get the ability. Like, I think when we were, I watched your concert this year with the third and fourth graders, and to see young kids, whether it was a bucket from Home Depot.
Support your local Home Depot.
Support your local
Home Depot. They donated all those buckets.
Right, they donate to us. We need to support them. We're trash cans.
Right.
We're also just instruments. And I think it's amazing exposure for kids. And so I wanted to thank you for the quality programming that you're providing for those kids. And understanding also, it's not just a place to send kids for 45 minutes or 40 minutes in a day. They're getting valuable connections back to their classrooms. And I think that's a really important part of music education.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So you had music programs. I talked about one that I attended.
Yeah.
Those are ways that you engage and kids get a chance to perform, but also just this idea of how we build community or input things. So from our youngest learners, right? Talk about some of those ways that we're getting kids out there to engage with the community, support the community, and really grow the music program.
Sure. I don't want our young kids to think, I'm so young, I can't contribute to the community, or I'm not an important part, because they really are. And so we get out in the community quite a bit. There's always the Warren County 9/11 ceremony that's put on, and we take students over and we sing. And prior to singing, we're talking all about 9/11 and the sacrifices that were made. And so it's a great conversation piece with the kids, but then for them to go and then perform and sing. A couple years ago, we weren't able to sing in the classroom, so we learned sign language. And so when we went and performed, we signed American Sign Language, which was really neat. In November, my favorite program is our Veterans Day program. We invite in veterans that are family or friends, and then we invite veterans in the community to come in, and we sing patriotic songs together. We really honor them, and it's a lot of thank you for our service. The last 2 years we couldn't invite people into our school building, and so we made a car parade, and those veterans just drove around our school, and the kids were waving flags, and just to get them out there and to show the community. We've got some amazing kids in our district, and sometimes you hear of negative stuff, but when we can get them out and show, like, we've got great kids here, and they're a big part of our community. So it's really good. And then in January, we took some kids up to a high school basketball game to perform, and I think it's really neat for them to see and get into that high school building. Like, that's going to be me one day, and get our kids in there, and for the high schoolers to look back and reflect on when they were in third and fourth grade. Just a lot of fun stuff to go out and do.
I was standing at the top of the gym that night, and some people standing beside me, they didn't know what was going on, right? And all these kids come on the floor, and you covered the gym floor with people, and third and fourth grade kids with balls that were going to dance and dribble in rhythm with the song. It was very impressive, and a great way of showcasing our kids and our community, and something very much to be proud of. And so thank you for the way that you're introducing students to music and giving them that love of it early on, because it's fun. It's exciting, fun. Right? It's fun and it's exciting, and and it's giving them a great foundation for the other programs that sometimes get all the attention.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It doesn't go unnoticed, and I appreciate that your commitment to our students in that way.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It's my
Anything else
pleasure.
before we move on from you that you wanted to share?
Just another thing I like to talk with my students about is like we can enjoy music activities and sports.
Yeah.
And you can do both and be a well-rounded person. So we talk about that in my class a lot. My own 3 kids are very involved in sports, but they're also very involved in the music department too. So I try to encourage parents, have your kid try everything. They may be very gifted in music or have a talent there, and if they never try, they'll never know.
Yeah, we don't have to
same with
choose,
sports.
right? We
You
don't have
really
to choose.
don't, no.
And that's the thing about our programs, and talking with Will earlier, is we have a lot of opportunities
Right.
and entry points for people of all varieties and all interests. I played a brass instrument.
Yeah.
I was afraid of a strings instrument. I'm sorry. I kept thinking my fingers aren't going to handle it. But I think there's a lot of options that we have here, and it's a great way to do that. And also the ability to participate in multiple things. So
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
a bunch for being here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna turn to you, right?
Yeah.
Right, sure.
So you talked about starting a program in
Yes.
2004, I think you said.
Yes.
So in the last 18 years, tell me about how that program's grown and some of the successes of that.
Well, I was able to have my children go through the general music program, and it was when I was actually demonstrating my violin music to some of their students that they said, hey, how about, are you interested in getting an orchestra program started? And I said, oh, yeah. So, as I started when I was 4, so I thought, the younger the better. But at the time, we started in 2004 with 5th graders. And it was an extracurricular time. It was if you could stay after or come early, you were a part of the orchestra program, which was great for the select few that could do that. People's schedules don't always allow that, but little by little, year by year, we have finally been able to get all of our orchestra members in the curricular day, and it's been growing and growing. Right now we are at about almost 90 people throughout the district. We had a nice 6th grade group this year, about 42 this year,
Wow.
which is my second highest beginner group, which is exciting to me.
Yeah.
It's fun because there's so many different aspects of music, and when I learned we didn't have an orchestra program, it was just nice to be able to offer that, because some people are orchestra people and some people like to do a lot of different things, but it's nice to be able to offer that.
So of those 90 or some or so kids, how many of those are unique? Like they're only in orchestra, or are those shared across other programs, you think?
Well, it's interesting because there are a lot of shared students, but in my high school group, I only have 2 people who are in band and orchestra, but one of those people plays 3 different instruments in those 2 groups.
Wow.
And then in the junior high, I have people who are in the choir as well as orchestra, and same with the orchestra at the elementary level, the 6th grade level. I have some in the band and some in the choir. We share. They can be in 2 groups in 6th grade, and that's where we begin all the ensemble work, is in 6th grade. And so we give them a chance to be in 2 different groups. In fact, this weekend, we have the opportunity to let them put their hands on the instruments. Anything in band and orchestra, they can come to the District Performance Center and try them out, so they can decide what they want to do next year.
Exciting times.
So we have the
exciting
5th
time.
graders come and do that.
My last district, they called that the instrument petting zoo or something
Right.
like that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the petting zoo.
and kids would come in and try a lot of things out. And so, one of the things I was thinking about is, and I didn't tell you this ahead of time, so I hope
Sure.
you've got a great answer for it, I'm sure. But when I think about orchestra, right, I think about a violin, and violins aren't cheap. Or I think about a cello or a bass. So what are ways that we're helping kids be involved in these programs that maybe can't afford an instrument themselves?
Well, slowly and surely we are increasing the number of instruments that we are allowing students to use at the school who couldn't afford maybe to rent. Although we're still working on that. It's a process. These instruments are very expensive. Right now we've started with the larger, lower strings, the basses and the cellos. So right now, everyone who is a cello or bass player has an instrument at the school. We encourage them to have one at home if they can, so that they can practice at home. but if they can't, at least they have the opportunity to play at school and do the best they can with that. We'll have to work on the upper strings as we can, afford it. So.
Yeah. So I think I walked into your class earlier this year, and it was a general music class at Barry, and you were. I found how you were trying to recruit some people into the orchestra that day, because it was pretty exciting to listen to the difference between a fiddle and a violin.
Right.
And I think those are just opportunities to expose kids again to instruments, to something they maybe have heard but can't quite put wrap their head around what it was. And so I was excited that day. I stuck around for that lesson for a while. So can you tell us a little bit about how your program, as you've grown, you've served or engaged with our community here in Lebanon?
We've had a lot of opportunities, and actually the kids really love to get out there. We have performed at Apple Fest way back when we first started. They needed more music on the big stage, so we said, hey, we've got some kids, and they were like, yeah, so, and then we have a kind of a tradition. In December, the week after the horse parade, we usually perform at one of the funeral homes, the Stein-Kilburn Funeral Home, locally, to help their patrons to make it a little more, I guess, a little softer for their holidays, you know. So we try to play for them. And then we play for Kiwanis Club and Rotary Club breakfasts. The Chamber of Commerce has us involved with the Lebanon Business Expo at the high school. We play music for that so that people can listen to the nice music while they're looking around to see what Lebanon has to offer. And so those are just some of the things that we do. Anytime, like we have a community builder ceremony, one of the music programs provides the music for that. One of the ensembles will perform for those things. And so the students are learning that it's not just about playing an instrument or singing or doing something, okay, I can do the notes and rhythms, but how can I express myself and help somebody have joy and make their day better and really make the community better.
Yeah, and I think music has a great ability to bring people together, right? And we talk about what unites us and what brings people together in divided times. And I've heard a tremendous amount of feedback from our community on as our students are engaged and out in the community, and what that means to them, and what it says about our district that we have these student performers. Anything else you'd like to share with us today you want to highlight from your program?
I would love to invite anyone who wants to come to our concert this spring. My concert is May 9th. It's a Monday night from 7 p.m. till about 8 at the District Performance Center. And it's free, so you can come and listen and enjoy some of the benefits from the program.
Awesome. Thank you, both of you, for being here today with us. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you do for kids, for my kids specifically, and the way that you're helping set foundations for a great music program in Lebanon City Schools. So thanks for joining us today. We have one more commercial break, and we'll be right back after these commercials.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
And we're back on the Lebanon Show. This time I'm joined by Joe Beal and Andrew Sershin. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about our high school programming now. A little bit of junior high maybe worked in there as well. But Joe, will you talk to us a little bit about how long have you been at Lebanon City Schools and what do you do in our music program?
Well, I'm the high school choir director. I direct the 5 choirs at the high school. I have been in Lebanon City Schools for 24 years.
Wow.
So it's It's
Always
been a
at the
neat
high
ride.
school?
I was at the high school for 10 years. I was at Bowman for almost 10 years, and now I'm back.
And now you're back.
Yeah.
That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn at Bowman that made you want to go back to the high school?
Well, I mean, it's funny because the thing is that, you know, the kids are remarkably similar at both places. It's just a difference in vocabulary more than anything else.
Yeah.
But no, Bowman, I mean, what I learned at Bowman is, I mean, they are such good teachers in that building. And, you know, being around them was, I think I became a better teacher just like spending time with those folks there. And, you know, and the opportunity came up and it was time to come back.
Yeah.
So.
Good. We're glad to have you back at the high school. I've enjoyed the choirs this year and enjoyed getting to stop in and listen to those shows or practices every once in a while at the DPC. Andrew, talk to us a little bit about how long you've been at Lebanon and what are you doing with the district?
Absolutely. This is my 5th year with Lebanon.
Okay.
I am the director of bands. I currently teach grades 7 through 12 and oversee all activities within the band program. Marching band, pep band, show choir band, pretty much anything band related I am responsible for.
Good, and I think if I remember correctly, that's probably the shortest tenure of any of our music department staff at this point in time, isn't it? Like 5 years is.
I'm one of the younger ones.
You're one of the younger ones, and 5 years is not new really. So, and I think that's a strength we have, right? People come and they're committed to Lebanon and growing a program, and we have great programs. And so I want to give you guys some time today to talk a little bit about your programs, some of the successes you've had and focus that you have going forward. So we'll start with you, Joe. In choir, and the choral program has grown, and you kind of added some things or continue to do that over the years. You know, talk a little bit about that growth. What do you think is contributing to the changes within your choral program?
Well, I think that the big thing is that we're rebuilding coming out of COVID. Which so numbers are naturally kind of starting to kick back up again as people become more comfortable. I think in terms of what we're offering is I think we're offering a really good environment. I think we're offering, you know, a quality experience, and we're also offering a good atmosphere where, you know, we just kind of, you know, build community and create a space where kids can be expressive and you know, and enjoy their time as well as being, you know, developing skills. And
yeah. How many different choirs do you have? What are the?
We have 5 choirs.
Okay.
We have Lebanon Singers, which is our competitive show choir. We have Cantare, which is our top level auditioned mixed choir. We have Symphonic Choir, which is a women's chorus that is auditioned, and then we have Treble Choir, which is women's unauditioned, and men's chorus, which is unauditioned.
Okay. Been able to take in several of your shows this year in concerts. Cantare, the Christmas show at the church was phenomenal, and it was great to sit there and see kids. First of all, it's a great acoustical place to sing and listen to music, but to be that close and to kind of feel the emotion of that. And then also, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about our show choir competition we were able to host this year. Can you talk to us a little bit about that program and some highlights from that weekend?
Oh, sure, yeah. Our competitive show choir, we typically do about 6 competitions a year. This year we were all over the map. We were, you know, in Ohio, we were in Indiana a few times. We went as far as Fort Wayne. That was our long trip this year. And then we hosted our own competition, which we've hosted the competition for the last several years, but this is the first time we've hosted it at the new high school, was this year. So a whole lot of moving parts in terms of converting the gym into a performance space, you know, setting up the stage, the lighting, the sound. And then we had 14 choirs come in from Ohio and West Virginia and competed with us, and a lot of them are excited about coming back next year, so that's good.
It was amazing to walk in and see the space transformed, and really a thanks to our music parents and booster organizations that helped set up for several days. They took what was a gymnasium and turned it into a concert venue, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I walked in like, this is not the same place. All right, look, I was walking into a Garth Brooks concert or something with the black curtains and the stage, and so thank you to those parents and those
the hours they put in were unbelievable. Not just then, but like, you know, our whole year. I mean, you know, I think both of us would agree that, our programs would not function without, the parent and community volunteers that we get, and
Absolutely.
They are absolutely the backbone of what we do, because we couldn't do it without the time that they put in. So.
And I think you and I stood in the hallway and talked a little bit that day. And it was really impressive for me to see our students, who weren't really competing that day. They were the hosts, showing off their school, being representatives of Lebanon schools, and walking people around and getting them to their spots. It was a way for them to kind of be proud of their program and their community, but also providing service to those other choirs that were there. And so it was a pretty cool thing to witness.
And the number of directors that talked to me about just how great our kids did, how respectful they were, how they knew the answers to questions they had. I mean, they were on the directors that were bringing groups in were really, really impressed with our kids.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, the choir, how many kids do you think are involved in your program? What kind of, what kind of reach are there? Kids involved in multiple choirs there?
I've got a couple kids that just live in my room at this point, and we have there's a fair amount of overlap. Looking at the numbers for next year, we should be clearing 200 next year within the full program, which I think that we can increase beyond that, we're up like about 70 or 80 kids from where we were a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations on that. I think it shows that kids want to be a part of your program. The pandemic's been tough on music programming, and we weren't all just sing unless you were 16 feet apart from each other at one point in time in the last 2 years. And so, I'm glad that the kids are coming back. So, last question for you is really, maybe share some ways your program has engaged or served the community at large here in Lebanon.
Over the years, we've had, once again, we're coming back from COVID. So a lot of, we were pleased to have a few opportunities this year. We did the downtown fall festival this year, and we did the Rotary Pancake Breakfast in the spring. And we're always looking for opportunities. And like I say, I think things kind of shut down a little bit with, but I think that especially coming into the next couple of years, whether we anticipate a lot more, interest in having live music again, because I know the Lebanon community has always been, really excited about, creating those opportunities for our kids, and also, the chance to kind of enjoy what they're bringing to the table.
It's a great show. It's a great way for our kids to give back to a community that's given a lot to us, and look forward to seeing how things kind of rebound in that. Anything else you'd like to share with us today about the upcoming events or anything about the choral music program?
May 10th is our last concert of the year, which is always kind of a fun concert because we say goodbye to our seniors, and it's more of a lighter music concert. For the first time, we'll be paired up with the wind ensemble doing a piece, which we haven't done that in years.
It's proving to be pretty exciting.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. Is that the DPC, or is that?
It is at the DPC.
Yeah.
So
gonna pack it out in there then.
Yeah, we're hoping to.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thank you.
We'll circle back to you here in a second if we have anything else you want to add. But Andrew, I want to invite you in to talk about our bands program. And in talking with you, you said the last concert, we're going to find a bigger stage to put kids on going forward. So talk to us about your numbers, talk to us about the program and how it's grown over the last several years.
Absolutely. We've been pretty fortunate through all of COVID and quarantine that we've actually grown even during that time. Numbers are 50+% increase all across the board.
Wow.
Marching band next year, you'll see over 110 people on the field. When I started in Lebanon 5 years ago, it was about 70.
Wow.
So that's a big increase and more opportunities for us there. I attribute that to some of the exciting opportunities we've done ourselves, but also partnering with the choir program and other things, doing Disney trip. We've got that coming up in November again in rotation. We just did the Reds opening day parade. All of these unique performance opportunities are definitely drawing people in, but we've also tried to foster a sense of inclusion in the band program in every sense of the word, and just try to have a great time getting student input on what would you like to do and actually following through with that on some of those wishes and goals that they have.
Yeah. One of the things I think about music is, as a former math teacher, I know people weren't coming to school for math, right? There are very few people who show up to school that wanted to come to my calculus class, but I do think that programs like our music program, band, choir, other things, give folks something else to look forward to, right? It's something that keeps them involved and keeps them engaged. And the more you find those opportunities that are beyond just showing up and playing the instrument, but a way for them to be a community, right? In a pure sense of the word, right? A family, a community at school, something to belong to, I think is something that we do, that you do a really good job of. What are some of the highlights of either marching band, or your concert band season from this year that you want to point out?
Well, it has been a very busy year for the band program overall. Marching band had a very successful season. We placed 68th in the nation at Bands of America Grand Nationals in Indianapolis in the fall. Concert bands had a very successful performance and clinics at the Cincinnati Regional Concert Band Festival at Mason High School in March. The concert bands also traveled to Washington, D.C. We performed at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate the annual Cherry Blossom Festival and the centennial of the Lincoln Memorial's construction. Just did the Reds opening day parade. As I mentioned, that was the first time in school history. We found out while we were in DC that was the second time the concert bands have ever gone. We found out that the 1978 Lebanon High School concert bands actually went and performed there as well.
Wow, that's
so
awesome.
It was pretty fun to find out. And we've got some more exciting opportunities that I'll talk about in a moment coming up as well.
Yeah, so tell me a little about the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, right? What was that experience like for the kids, and what is a memory or something that you think they take away from that opportunity?
I mean, it's very impactful, and it doesn't really set in until you're there. Even if you've been to the Lincoln Memorial and seen it, to do a performance in front of it and have anyone in the world just walking by and stopping to listen was huge for us. And we even visited it the first night, and the students saw it, and it started to sink in a little bit because 95% of them, they missed their 8th grade Washington, D.C. trip over the last 2 years, and this was kind of help make up for that as well. So they've never seen it in person, and then they go there the first night and realize this is pretty serious, this is real deal. And we start setting everything up, and they see a crowd forming, and it's definitely something I'm not going to forget in my career, and I think these students will definitely remember that.
You get all dressed up. I think I saw tails on that tuxedo
tails.
that day. And some
wrong attire for the time of day, but I tried to dress to the nines.
Dress to the nines. I thought about that the other day as I saw photos of your kids and realizing freshmen and sophomores did not have their 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. And so that thought wasn't lost on me, and I think it's a great experience for those kids to have, and something that through music they get to have opportunities they may not have otherwise had. And so I want to thank the two of you for creating memories, moments, and opportunities for kids to make their high school experience very special and something memorable for them. So I want to, same thing I've asked everybody else today. What else would you like to talk to us about today? Any program or highlights you want to say before we go?
Well, the busy year is not over. We've got the high school band concert on May 3rd. Kantari will be joining us for that joint performance as well. We're going to be doing both concerts on May 3rd and the 10th. So if you miss it on the 3rd, you can see it on the 10th.
Or we can see it both nights.
Both nights.
Or both nights,
Get 2 looks at it. We've got junior high band concert on May 4th. We have, again, the 10th is theirs. We're doing the Community Builders performance to highlight our students and staff that are doing great things in the district. We're doing graduation. We've got the Memorial Day Parade coming up. Our annual jazz dance is on May 14th at the Warren County Fairgrounds. We have an endless amount of opportunities still left for the community to come see us and see what's going on with the band program.
That sounds like an exciting and busy spring. And I will tell you, from somebody who's new to the community and new to Lebanon City Schools, I've really enjoyed being a part of and seeing our kids participate, whether it's in the fall parade, walking through town, and you and I stopping once you're stopped on Broadway there for a while, waiting, and getting the opportunity to see kids do something that they love and represent our school well. And so thank you guys for putting a great face forward for Lebanon City Schools, for putting a product out there that we can be proud of, that kids can be proud of, and that helps engage our community in meaningful ways and provide opportunities for students. So I really appreciate the work that you do and value the work that you do and what you bring to our district. So thanks very much for joining me today. We're going to wrap up today's show and just want to say thank you to those of you who continue to tune in and watch us as we focus on Lebanon City Schools, our programs, our students, and our staff. What makes this place special? Lebanon City Schools is an extremely special place, and we have programs that are providing opportunities for kids that make them feel valued, welcome, and included, and give them a chance to shine and flourish. And today, I hope that you'll see from talking with our music program leaders and teachers that we work really hard to provide these opportunities for kids, to give them a place to belong, to give them a place to thrive, and the extremely important, valuable program of our music department. And thank you to our community who continues to support that and make this a great place to live, a great place to work, and a great place to learn. I'm Isaac Sears, Superintendent of Lebanon City Schools. Thank you for joining us this month on Onward Lebanon. If you like the show, if you're watching us online, we ask that you go down to the like, subscribe, and share button. Share this episode with others. Share this page with others. We want to continue the reach of this program and also continue to tell the great things that are happening at Lebanon City Schools and to tell our story. So thank you very much. Have a great week. And until next time we see you, Onward Lebanon.